Hi, welcome back to Wallflowers. So today I'm making chicken jambalaya. As you know, I shop at the Food Initiatives, which is a food pantry. This week, when we got there was a lovely aroma in the air when we got in, and there was a lady there cooking chicken jambalaya, and she was showing people how to make it, and giving you a taste tester. And at the end, there were carrier bags filled with the ingredients, so you could actually purchase a carrier bag yourself. Now, this carrier bag cost me £2, and there's two chicken fillets in, a portion of pancetta bacon bits, a bag of rice, a tin of tomatoes, all the herbs I need. This bag of peas was frozen and I've allowed them to defrost. A bag of spinach, pepper, a large onion, a couple of spring onions, and of course the stock cube. So all those ingredients for £2 is absolutely fabulous. Now I would have had the bulk of all of these in my pantry and possibly some chicken, but I haven't had to take it out the freezer and defrost it because I'm planning to use that for something else. So to have this readily available, I just put it in the fridge and now I've taken it out ready to use. And of course comes with a recipe. Now I'll be able to keep this recipe and put it in a file. And then if there's no internet or anything like that to refer to for a recipe, I can look back on these paper versions of them and keep them for future use. Now, yes, you can see my contraption of a trouser hanger here, just balancing on one of my jars in the cupboard because this recipe is just a single piece of paper. Normally, I'd have it on the shelf itself or the door, and I'd have a recipe book clipped open to the page I want. It's much more convenient. I can just look up, see the ingredients, see the instructions, and I can go from there. Instead of having it in the wet food or in my way and causing chaos, it's clipped right above me and it's easy access. I saw that many years ago on somebody else's tips and I started using it straight away and I think it's a fabulous idea. So there's the recipe. We see what ingredients we've got. The good thing about this is it's a one pot recipe, so we're just going to make it all in the one pan. Save some washing, save some messing around, and I love the idea of a one pot meal. But what I'd also like to add is yes, there's chicken here and there's the pancetta bits, but you can add anything to this recipe. Indeed, you can just leave the meat out completely and just make it with the vegetables, and it'll be absolutely delicious. Or instead of that chicken and bacon, you could use fish, you could use mincemeat, you could use any other meat that or fish that you have available. And even then, if all you have is a tin of hot dogs, use a tin of hot dogs, just slice it up and the flavours will enhance the hot dogs and you'll have a delicious meal. You know, we normally have the bulk of these items, and to be able to make it into a different meal completely just keeps us all happy. I mean, this is basically going to be a fancy takeaway meal, and we're going to have it in the comfort of our own home. And even if we don't have the gas available, you can make this on a wood stove top. You can do this on the barbecue fire. You know, this one pan meal is very versatile, and you can make it in many different ways. So I'm going to go and prepare all this now, and bring you back once I start cooking. Okay, so I've got to the stage now where I've chopped everything. I've got everything ready. I've just added just over a tablespoon of olive oil to the pan. I haven't splashed out for this olive oil. Again, this is something I've got from the initiative and pantry and being able to put away. I got that a good 5, 6 months ago. I've just finished one bottle and now I'm on to the next. So I'm not splashing out for anything fancy. I'm using basic ingredients, but if I can pick them up from the pantry, I will, and I'll store them away for future use. today's one of those days. I can use it. So it says heat the oil in the pan and add the pancetta and the onion. Now pancetta is another one of those things I wouldn't splash out to buy pancetta. To me it's just bacon, and a lot of it, as you can see, is just the fat of the bacon. Now if you're like one of my sons and won't eat the fat off the bacon, trim it off, put it in a Ziploc bag and place it in the freezer and use that, even just the fat, for flavours when you're cooking food, any food, not just this jambalaya, any food, and use it as a fat sauce. Don't just throw it away, put it in the freezer lock, a Ziploc, sorry, and save it, because to buy this pancetta, it'll be £1, £2 a packet, and all it is bacon fat. So don't waste what we've got, use what we've got. You know, the ancestors and people still do it. When you fry up bacon or grill bacon, scrape the fat out your grill, keep the fat out the frying pan, and put that in a little tub and keep that. Bacon fat is absolutely amazing flavour and good for cooking with. So I have to keep these going for 2 to 3 minutes until the bacon browns off and the onions soften. I got quite a bit of chicken out of those 2 breasts, so I'm quite happy. There's quite a bit. I should imagine after all this is done, this will probably be a 6-portion meal. So 3 days worth of food for Mr. Wallflowers and I. Well, evening meals anyway. And it'll easily freeze. The only thing is the rice in it, and you have to be really careful if you're freezing and reheating rice. You have to bring it to room temperature first before you freeze it. When you go to recook it, defrost it, bring it to room temperature before you recook it. Double check my facts as well, but really be careful because you can get food poisoning from reheating either chicken or rice, so be careful with these 2 things. Smells lovely. Bacon and onions, lovely smell. Right, what's next on our list? Add the chicken and cook for 3 to 4 minutes until lightly browned on both sides, and then stir the rice in until coated in the oil. Excuse me. We'll just give it a little bit more and then we'll add the chicken. I've cut the onions quite chunky here, so we've got a bit of texture to this meal, because we'll have chunks of chicken, chunks of the pepper, and now chunks of the onion. The pancetta of it will go down to nothing, and the rice, spinach and peas will all be small as well. So we've got some nice textures as well as taste here. The onion brought tears to my eyes, so this is a big white onion, so it may have been a Spanish onion, I don't know, but it was really strong. I'm ready for that chicken. I'm not going to worry about changing the spatula because the raw chicken's gone into all the food. Now, I'm going to use brown rice today, just because I already had a bag open. So bag of rice that came with this will be put to one side. It will be used eventually, but I'm not going to open a fresh bag when I've already got a bag open. Common sense, really. So, and I do like brown rice. At least any rice, or we like brown rice, don't we? And I do believe you get more nutrients from brown rice or brown bread than do. It's not telling me to add water to the rice. Oh, with the stuff, yeah. So I've already added half a pint of water to the stock cube and got that ready, so that'll be in the liquid. I was just wondering then what's going to liquid me rice. I've just got to make sure that chicken is cooked through a little more all the way around. That looks okay to me. Now, this is 1 cup of rice, white, brown, whatever you choose, any type of rice. 1 tin of tomatoes. And the stocks and herbs. So that's the stock cube, 1 stock cube and half a pint of water. And it's a teaspoon of mixed herbs. Any you like, just your choice. You're eating it. Put in whatever you like. If you don't want herbs, don't put herbs in. If you like herbs and you want more than a teaspoon, put as much as you like in. You're eating it. As you'll see from the pumpkin shepherd's pie, cottage pie even, I made a few videos back. You know, we're eating it. You know, you don't have to stick to a recipe 100%. You use what you've got in. And if you don't like that ingredient, obviously don't put it in. It's pointless if you're not going to eat it. And I was so glad there was no chilies or hot spices in this, because we wouldn't have particularly enjoyed that, Mr. Wallflowers and I. So this is simple mixed herbs. We like tasty food, but we don't like hot and spicy particularly. We can do a little now and again, but it's not a regular thing, is it? A little, yeah. So let's see. We want to keep that going for 15 minutes. So I'm not going to make you watch me stay in the pot for 15 minutes. So I'll bring you back when we're adding. Oh, just let me tell you first. So when I chopped and sliced and de-seeded the pepper, these seeds come off quite easily. And if you place them on a paper towel and dry them out a bit more, and then put them in a paper bag or an envelope, etc., you can keep them for planting out in spring and grow your own peppers. But also, from the spring onions, the ends that were chopped off, I keep those as well, and they'll go out today in one of the raised beds in the garden, root end down, obviously, and they will produce a spring onion. Now, when I come to harvest them, when they're ready, probably summertime, I literally cut it down to just that size again and leave the rooting again, and they will continue growing. And that's the chives, the leeks, the spring onions, anything except a bulb onion in the allium family will keep producing. As long as the root is back in the ground, they'll keep producing you a whole new vegetable. So they are well worth keeping, and it's free food. So as I say, spring onions, leeks and chives, I do that with, and it's free food virtually forever, which is nice. Bring you back when this is ready. That's been a good 15 minutes now, and I've had a frying pan upside down because it's a wok and it's a really big pan. I've had a frying pan and used that as a lid for it. Now all the rice seems to be cooked. I'm just going to add a little bit more liquid, as if it was drying a bit much for me. A bit more liquid to keep the rice going. Now I'm going to add the last of the ingredients. So I've got a whole chopped pepper. I've got 2 spring onions. I've got a portion of peas. And a portion of spinach. Some of it's a little wilted with cooking in the kitchen. That'll be fine. Nope. Might immerse that spinach so it's completely wilted in the cooking. Colours look nice. Add the peppers, peas, spring onions and cook covered for a further 10 minutes until the liquid has been absorbed. So give it a good stir in. Make sure everything's shared about equally. And then, as I say, I'm just using a frying pan as the lid for the big wok. And on that will go for another 10 minutes. I'll come back and show you when it's completed. I've just took 2 hot rolls out the oven. I'm just putting a bit of butter on them. And use for a dip in. And of course, the jambalaya is ready. Sorry, Mr. Wolf, I was on your way. And we shall have a nice large portion each of this. Yeah, Mr. Wallflowers won't eat the chicken, so I'll be getting his chicken as well. So that's ample for the 2 of us. Don't suppose we've even used half the portion. There's 2 more left, so that'll be a 6 meal for us. 3 meals each. Then I keep it warm. And we have this evening's meal. Okay, thank you for joining us today. If you have any one pot recipes or anything you're creating right now that's a nice, tasty hot meal. And the best would be if it costs us next to nothing. Okay, speak to you soon. Bye.